It's all about goetta today in the sartorial kitchen. I'm taking you on a tour of Goetta Fest, and then we're heading back to the kitchen to make a goetta meatloaf. I'm serving that on top of garlic smashed potatoes with a mustard cream sauce. And last but not least, goetta fried rice. So why don't you pull up a chair and dine with me? Welcome back, everybody. We are live at the Goetta Fest. This is one of my favorite times of year. I love checking out the booths and seeing what new offerings there are. So I'm gonna keep poking around and see what looks good. And we'll try some things out. All right, guys, stop number one. It was this authentic Ecuadorian place. I got a tostada. It's got the goetta on it, some pico, some cilantro crema. Looks so good. And of course, I couldn't pass up the street corn. It's gonna come in here. If you've never had a tostada, it looks like tortilla, but it's plantain. Wow. Oh, it's so good. Everything tastes so fresh. The tostada's nice and crispy. And the goetta, the seasonings of the goetta actually really play nicely with everything. I was kind of surprised. Okay, so stop number one. We're gonna hit some other booths. I'll check back in with you guys. All right, guys, round two. Goetta quesadilla and a goetta burger on a donut. So decadent.
Glazed donut.
Yeah, glazed donut. Okay, so I had the tostada. I had to get a ball of those. Were really good. The street corn was good, even though it's not goetta. Now let's come in here and taste. I'm going to start with the quesadilla, because this donut is going to be a mess. So the quesadilla, it's great. It's like grilled on both sides. Nice melted cheese. Ooh. Yum. Okay. Not quite as exciting as the tostada, but I mean it's got good flavor. You can taste like the grill. I think it's got some onions in it too. That was a little fun surprise. Lots of flavor. Okay, now I'm gonna attempt this burger. It's huge, so I'm gonna have to be a little judicial with this. Wow. Okay. It's breakfast. It's a breakfast burger. The donut's a little messy. If I were to do this, I'd probably cut the donut in half. And then like toast the outside of it on the grill. That'd probably be easier to eat because it's a glazed donut, so. But it's absolutely delicious. I think we may look around some more, but I feel pretty good here. Have some good inspirations. I'm gonna pick up some goetta to take home, and I'm gonna come up with a couple unique dishes of my own. So I will see you guys back in the kitchen. Back, everybody. I had a blast at the Goetta Fest, and I actually came up with a couple of fun ideas I wanted to try out. The first of which is the. I never really liked to copy anyone else. I could have replicated things that I had there, like I did last time, but I thought it would be fun to come up with something completely different. And I thought, we could do a whole meal sitting around goetta instead of doing like a bunch of little dishes like you get at the festival. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Starting off, I've got a package of ground beef and just a log of goetta. This is the mild. You can get like hot. They also make a turkey now, which I haven't actually tried. And we're just going to mash that together after I add a few different ingredients here. for flavoring. So 2 eggs. It's going to help be a binder for everything. Now, as I mentioned before, goetta steel cut oats. So I thought instead of doing breadcrumbs like you normally do in a meatloaf, it would be fun to do oats and kind of tie it into goetta. And I just want about a half cup. That should be pretty good. And we're going to season this baby up. So I'm going to add a little Worcestershire here. A couple teaspoons, give it nice and rich body of flavor. And I also want some salt. A teaspoon of salt. It's nice and flavorful. And also with the pepper. And then I've got some minced onion. A couple teaspoons of minced onion. You can use real onions if you want, but I like the minced because they're already diced for you, and they kind of rehydrate as they cook in the loaf. So they just get perfect. And some garlic here. You know me and my jarred garlic. So I'm going to do a couple tablespoons of that as well. And one more thing. Just a little bit of milk. It's going to help keep it nice and moist. I'm going to get about a 4th cup. And I've got my gloves out. I'm going to glove it up. We're going to get in here with our hands and mash this all together. First I'm going to break up the goetta. As you can see, it's a little more dense because it has those oats and everything in it. I'm just going to just kind of mash it up. And then we'll get the down in here into the ground beef. Break up those eggs, and then just kind of mat everything down until it's kind of like flattened out nice and good. And then just kind of start to slowly turn everything over on it. So yeah, this is coming together nicely. You can see those oats in there. That's going to add some nice texture. It's going to kind of bind everything together. You can see the meat and the goetta has become well incorporated, and I think we are good to go. So I've got a loaf pan here. I've already greased. I kind of like the loaf pan because you get a nice shape out of it, and then everything's going to kind of cook evenly. So we are just going to take this and transfer it over. I just literally just pop it right in. Perfect. And just press down gently. I want to make sure this is the same thickness all the way around, so it cooks the same. Otherwise, we'll have one half that's about done, and then another half that's not quite as done. All right, one more little thing here before we pop this guy in the oven. A little glaze I'm going to make for the top. So normally you would do like a ketchup on meatloaf, but this is goetta, which is of German origin, so I want to do a mustard glaze for the top. So I've got a couple tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and I'm going to do about equal parts honey here, a little salt and pepper, and some more flavor. Couple more dashes of our Worcestershire. Just give it some nice rich flavor. And then a little olive oil. Beautiful. And then I'm just going to take my spoon here and stir this all up until it becomes a nice little sauce. All right. Trade in our spoon for my little brush here. And just like, you know, when you're basting meat on the grill, I'm just going to take my brush here and paint our little sauce all over the top of this. So what's going to happen is we're going to get a nice crust on here from this sauce with the oil and everything. It's going to, of course, give this thing some nice flavor. But also, it's going to seal in the juices that this creates and give us, make sure that our meatloaf stays nice and moist and tender. If there's any left, just kind of pour it on the top. Let it get on the sides if you want. That's fine. We're going to be making a sauce out of our pan drippings, so I don't want to leave anything behind. And then this is going to go straight into my oven. I have already preheated it to 350 degrees. It's going to cook for about an hour or so. I'll check it at an hour and see where we're at on the temp. I may leave it in another 15-25 minutes. And we will check back in.
We're going in the oven. Our potatoes are cooking away. So my next dish, I thought it would be really fun to do a stir fry. So I did wontons one year, and that was really good. But I thought, what would be like a whole meal that I could do with the goetta? Now for this, I got the hot roll. So I want this to be kind of sweet and spicy. And then I've got some rice here that I have already cooked earlier. So it would be good and ready. It's the best way to do fried rice is to have your rice already cooked with a little oil in here. The goetta is not terribly fatty, so I want to add just a little oil just to help it crisp. And then we'll just come in here and we'll grab some of this and just toss it in. Kind of like before with the meatloaf, I'm going to kind of mush it into lower pieces. I can break it down some with the spoon once it's cooked. And then I'm just going to give this a stir real quick. Let it get oil all over it. And, add a little more here, just to make sure it gets nice and brown. Alright, I've got my rice. So now we're going to do our eggs. Fried rice, it's usually eggs and it's soy sauce, and you just fry it up. But I want this to be kind of a sweet and sour, so I've got a few extra things out here. Of course, I like to do my eggs first and watch your eggshells. You do not want eggshells in our fried rice. And then I've got some soy. And just a little soy. I'll add some to the rice too once it goes in. And I'm going to add a little to the goetta because I'm going to give it a nice little salty. Okay. What I love about soy sauce is like adding salt without actually adding salt. It's a perfect substitution. And I've also got some teriyaki here. About the same amount. Teriyaki, a little sweet without being like really sweet. And then I've got some sambal or chili paste. And just want a little of this. About a teaspoon here. I like it because it has those like chili flakes in it, so you can see that it's kind of spicy. But it's not overly hot, it's a little sweet as well. And then we'll give this another stir real quick. Just to make sure that it starts to get nice and brown. Once you get the wok going really good, you can start just shaking it up. And I'm going to come here and beat our little egg mixture here. Oh, yeah, nice dark color. One of those times I wish we had smell vision, because these Asian ingredients smell lovely. Of course, I'm also smelling the mustard and everything from the meatloaf, which is really lovely. Alright, this looks pretty good. I'm going to go and pour it on the rice, actually. And then my little paddle here that I use to fluff the rice. I'm just going to coat the rice in our little egg mixture here. So let it kind of marinate, kind of chill out. And then once our goetta is just about cooked, we'll throw in the rice and let it crisp up. Alright. I'm just going to kind of evenly disperse it. It's not all one thing in one place. And this literally does not take long, because the rice is already cooked, so we're just bringing the rice back up to temp. And then we need like that egg to cook through, and then like the chili and all those little fun things we added in. And then we're just going to come in here real quick. And I just kind of take my spoon, stir everything over, just until the rice and the goetta become incorporated. Alright, I'm going to turn this off. I think we are good to go. Already got me a little bowl out here and a fork. And it is time to plate up. Let's take a nice generous helping of this. A few scoops. Pull that off the meat. And then we'll garnish with some other green onion here. And there we have it. Goetta fried rice. Tell me that does not look amazing. I'm just going to come in here. We're going to give it a nice little taste. Ooh, I love it. So, the goetta, if you've never had it before, it's an experience. It's nice and rich. You get that pork quality, but then you taste all those spices that the goetta's made up with. I get the heat from the hot goetta. It's just hot enough to where I can like feel it, but it's not overpowering. But then I have that sweet heat from the chili oil. I'm getting the soy, I'm getting the teriyaki. Of course, rice and eggs, very filling. You can't go wrong. Okay, I'm going to finish up here. And we'll get going on our potatoes, and then our meatloaf should be ready to come out. Alright guys, we're back. I got a rack out to set my meatloaf on. I like to let it kind of cool a little, where the heat can distribute evenly. That way I know it's going to come out even. And I want to check on my potatoes here. You just kind of poke them with a knife, and you want your knife to just kind of slide right through the potato, nice and easy. I checked the biggest ones, and I think we're good to go. So I'm going to turn that off. We'll give these a little drain, and we'll start. Just carefully bring them over. Just want to get rid of all that liquid. And I'll drop those potatoes right in. I'll get rid of all that. And the rest of them babies. Now we get to mash them up. I also need to add some butter. And let's start with the butter. I got the stick. We can always add more if needy. Add that little bit there. I think that looks pretty good. And then I also want to add a little milk. Okay, just to start, you can always add more if needy. Just got a medium speed. I don't want to overwork them. I don't want to go too hard, too fast. And they get kind of gummy when you overwork them. And I'm speed just a little bit right now. We're going to put in with some salt. Potatoes are naturally bland, so I'm going to season them heavily. I did season the water that they boiled in, because that's a good way to get some flavor into them. Might also add some pepper. And I think we're going to need a little more milk. Put a couple of tablespoons of this. And then to really jazz it up, I add some of my garlic aioli spread. About a couple of tablespoons. Another great way to add some flavor. And turning this back on. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now is the perfect time to give them a little taste. Make sure they have enough salt and pepper and things. It's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just a little more salt and pepper. Like I said, they can never take enough seasoning. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, grab our meatloaf. I'm so excited. Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. Nice and crusty on top. Guys, got a little skillet going here, just on a medium heat. I'm going to take a couple tablespoons of butter here. Throw that down. Let that cook the bottom of my skillet. And then I want some of these delicious pan drippings. That's going to be the base of our little mustard cream sauce. And this lovely gravy. I'm just going to gently pour this out. And I think we got about 2 tablespoons worth, which is perfect. That's about how much butter I'm using. And that meatloaf, I'm just going to kind of let rest for about as long as it's going to take to make our little cream sauce here. And then I'm going to try unmolding it and we'll slice it up. Great. So I just want a couple tablespoons of flour here. And then I'm going to just quickly whisk this in. Just until the flour dissolves, and we cook out that kind of raw flour taste. And then add just a hint more here. This is called making a roux. Anytime you use any kind of like oil, butter, if you've cooked, if you were like frying chicken or something like that, you can throw some oil in that, some flour in that grease, and just cook it down. It really only takes about a minute or two. You don't want the flour to burn, so you just literally just go long enough until that flour is dissolved. And you see it gets kind of paste-like almost. And I like using this little whisk here so I can get all these lumps out. And you'll kind of smell it. You can smell it like that raw flour. And we're going to throw some things in here. We got some more of our Dijon mustard. This is a mustard cream sauce, so I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons almost. And we're going to get some more of our Worcestershire here. A couple teaspoons of that. And I also want a little nutmeg. Nutmeg is a little classic seasoning for cream sauces. I'm just going to do about a 4. Nutmeg's pretty strong, so we're just going to do about a 4th of that. Some salt here. Nice little generous sprinkling of salt. A little bit of pepper. And then we're just going to stir that in. Stir in that mustard, the Worcestershire, and you can already see it's turning a different kind of color here. Which is beautiful. Now to turn this into a cream sauce, we're going to need some cream. So I've got just a little container of heavy whipping cream here. And I like to give it a little shake. Sometimes it settles. And then I'm just going to pour that in. Ooh, isn't that luscious? And then we just want to continue to stir. I want to continue to break down that flour and the mustard and everything, and so it all comes together into a nice little sauce. And then we can kind of turn it down some. So what's going to happen is that cream's going to reduce
It's going to break down with all of our other flavors here. It's going to create a nice little cream sauce or gravy. So you can already see the creams coming together. All right, guys, moment of truth. Turn this off and we'll move our gravy off the heat. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Time to unmold this baby. Now, I do have a little spatula here, which is what I want to use. And I just want to come around the sides. Just to make sure that it's still good and loose. Oh, yeah. That looks gorgeous. Alright, now this pan's still a little hot, so I'm going to have my gloves here. But I'm just going to kind of, we're going to cheat a little here with our cutting board. Get out of here. Oh, look at that. And the pan comes out almost clean. That's exactly what we want. And then, with my spatula, very carefully, we are going to flip this baby back over. Haha, success. I'll tell you what, guys, this meatloaf. Alright, gorgeous. Let me get a little knife here. A little steak knife here. And then I'm going to just use the spatula to kind of guide it. And I'm going to cut pretty substantial pieces here. Anywhere from like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick. Oh yeah. Tell me that does not look good. And we'll just cut about 1/2 of it for now. If I was serving this family style, I would kind of cut about 1/2, depending on I guess I have. And then you can kind of pass it around. Now we just need a plate.
Plates? I'm going to start with the potatoes. Just a couple dollops. And then I'm going to make a little bed here for the meatloaf. And I'm going to take this thin piece of the crust one. Why not? And then some of our delicious little mustard cream. Just kind of drizzle it. So some of it's on the meatloaf, some of it's on the potatoes. And I like a little fresh cracked pepper on top. Now tell me this isn't a nice little Sunday dinner meal. Amazing. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to try a little of these potatoes first. Look at all this stuff going on. Oh yeah, those are amazing. So, tender, so nice and warm. Perfect amount of salt, butter. So we're going to get a little bit of this cream sauce. Oh my god, guys. Now for the piece de resistance. The meatloaf. Oh man. Okay, so automatically I'm getting like the sweet from the honey, and the honey mustard kind of glaze we made. Because the mustard gives it just a little bit of a kick. Real Dijon mustard, not that yellow stadium mustard. No. And I want to get a little bit of this meat here with the cream sauce and everything. Oh my god, that's like a perfect little bite. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Well, I'm going to finish up my meal here. But I appreciate you guys joining me once again in the kitchen. As always, like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comment section. And until next time, bon appetit.